So Prey, the fifth film in the Predator franchise, has just dropped on Hulu recently, and now I wanted to continue this thing where I talk about movies from 1987, and now I'm going to talk about a very popular franchise that came out of 1987, the Predator films. So let's get right into the Predator movies, not including the AVP movies. I haven't seen any of those two movies, so we're just going to talk about all the five individual standalone Predator movies. All right, on to Predator. So Predator 1987, excluding the opening, which I think should have been cut altogether, even if it was added in early or not, I think it just completely ruins the mystery of the Predator and did not feel needed. So just to get that out of the way, it would have been better off if it was more of a mystery, finding out that it was an alien. But yeah, that's the only complaint, and everything about this movie is awesome. It's just a great concept of a film, and this was like a spec script that was like sent in to Fox by these like two brothers, and it's just a perfect idea that to take these muscle-bound action heroes, you got Schwarzenegger of the Terminator films, Carl Weathers of the Rocky films, and also, Jean-Claude Van Damme, who was kind of a rising star. Oh, I'm going to count he's in the film, because he is definitely part of the cast, because, he carries Hawkins off the set. So he counts, even if the whole concept design was kind of dumb. But overall, this is just a great action movie, and I can't really just say much about it because it's just a perfect movie, perfect action film from 1987. I love the gorilla fight, and I love the fight at the end where Arnold just becomes more of a hunter than a soldier. It's a great turning of the tables that I love, and great film overall, and I wish John McTiernan did not do what he had to do. Even though it was not as bad as what other people in Hollywood get arrested for. But overall, I wish John McTiernan makes like a big comeback. Maybe he might do Predator 6. Who knows? I mean, they're definitely doing something with Prey. Predator 2, while it has mostly actors that you would consider more to be secondary characters like Danny Glover, Gary Busey, and Bill Paxton, it's still a fun movie, and it takes you somewhere different, and it's a great idea, and maybe I just like cop films better than just the jungle type war movies, but it really just made me want to rewatch Lethal Weapon again. That's what you're really gonna think when you watch this movie, and it's just kind of awesome when it's literally this gang war of Jamaicans against like Cubans or Colombians, and it's racist, but at the same time it's not. And I think the director is also somewhat Jamaican, so that puts it in a weird spot. But I guess this is another thing that a problem that my dad kept pointing out is that the one-liners are terrible.
It's alright, I'm a cop.
I don't think he gives a shit.
But overall, I think Predator 2 is still a fun movie, and I love this part of it.
Fuck you.
And also, it had a good setup for a disappointing duology, but great ending with that gun, and God, Prey should have been the third Predator movie. Okay, first off, Predators isn't bad. I'm not on that train, but it's a little forgettable. Like, I watched this like a few weeks ago, and I really can't remember a thing about it. Besides that, it was a bunch of people trapped on like a planet, and had Adrian Brody, Venom, Morpheus, Danny Trejo, and Mahershala Ali, and I remember it looked nice. But that's really it. But I will say it's better than The Predator because it feels like it is. There is something new to it, but the fact that it's still back in the jungle, you feel like you've seen it before. And this was just back when Predator 2, I guess, was still hated upon, but overall, I enjoyed this. I think it was still, like, enjoyable, even though how forgettable it is. And it is the best looking out of the 5 Predator movies. So I'll give it that. And it's good to see that Robert Rodriguez actually brought back, like, real makeup effects, people in costumes, which would kind of continue the next one in Prey, so I'll give it that. Now on to the worst one. So you'd think that after that movie not being well liked just because it was the same movie, and by same in the jungle, you'd think Shane Black would have breathed some air into it, with it now taking place in a more suburban area, and no, it kind of sucked. Now, I don't think I hated it as much as everyone said it was. It's just there's so many cuts, like so many scenes that you can just tell were deleted, and there was just and too many jokes and stuff that just does not make any sense. And the whole thing of seeing Jacob Tremblay again play a kid with disabilities, which is now making me think of Wonder, which is now getting a sequel, which that's a whole other topic. But anyway, this movie could have the potential just because it's Shane Black, the pussy joke guy from the first film, and the writer of the Lethal Weapon movies, and Iron Man 3, one of the better MCU movies. This should have worked, and it really didn't work. And I am just hoping that this did not kill off the chance for him to direct a Lethal Weapon 5, because I don't want Mel Gibson to direct Lethal Weapon 5. So after Disney buying out Fox, you'd think Disney would put a stop to making Predator movies after the Predator, but no, they still kept going because Predator can still at least make money, but instead it goes straight to Hulu. Now, you think this would be bad because it goes straight to Hulu, but no, it's great. And that's the biggest issue. It's on a streaming service and not released in theaters like I feel like it should be. I guess because the last one bombed, and this one does have a very low budget. And some of the effects in this movie really show that it was a low-budget movie, because some of the effects for some of the creatures are not good, because they obviously put more into the predators. I mean, the Predator himself, too, because he looks great, as always, and, but yeah, I thought this movie was going to suck, it was going to be woke, but the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane, which, to be honest, I haven't seen, it really felt like it went back to basics, but in a good way, where it didn't feel like it was retelling, because it definitely invents new stuff, and it has like none of the whole shtick with like guns. It has old technology, and it works. It's just another great Predator film, and I would really just much recommend just watch Predator, Predator 2, and Prey, and it makes just a fine trilogy, because this kind of concludes the whole thing with the gun. Which doesn't make that much sense. I don't know why it just didn't take place in 1715, because this takes place in 1719. But overall, Prey is a great movie. So, I thought it was going to be woke, and wasn't so woke. Even though there's a lot of inaccuracies to probably how the Native Americans probably would have taken the whole thing with a woman. But anyway, if I was to rank it, it would be the Predator at the bottom, Predators, even though it's not bad, Predator 2, Prey, and then Predator as the best one, of course. So there you go, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time to talk about the most infamous films of 1987.